Of course, I felt uncomfortable. When someone points out your mistake, especially when you're already standing in front of other people, there's that little moment where you're like, oh, you feel it, you feel embarrassed. You might think about what other people are thinking. Lately, I've been thinking about how much of our growth comes from things we don't want to do. Not huge dramatic things. Sometimes it's something really simple. Talking to someone, asking your teacher a question, giving a presentation, going somewhere you've never been, moving away from your hometown, being far away from your parents, doing work when you really don't feel like doing it. None of these things sound exciting. They sound inconvenient. And that's exactly why I think we need to change the way we look at them. Because maybe the inconvenience isn't the problem. Maybe the inconvenience is the training. I recently had to do a presentation and I experienced this myself. I was standing there presenting, trying to explain everything properly, and of course there were things I could have done better. And my teacher pointed them out. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I felt absolutely nothing. Of course, I felt uncomfortable. When someone points out your mistake, especially when you're already standing in front of other people, there's that little moment where you're like, oh, you feel it, you feel embarrassed. You might think about what other people are thinking. And honestly, if I didn't have the mindset I have now, I could have carried that feeling around for days, 3 days, 4 days, just replaying that moment in my head. But this time, I understood something almost immediately. My teacher was teaching me. That's it. It wasn't an attack. It wasn't something I needed to be ashamed for days. Someone literally showed me something I could improve. So I took the information, I learned from it, and I moved on. And that made me realize how much energy we waste fighting things that are actually helping us. We call so many things inconvenient. I don't want to talk to them, it's inconvenient. I don't want to go there, it's inconvenient. I don't want to wake up early, it's inconvenient. I don't want to do this assignment, it's inconvenient. And yes, it is. I'm not going to lie and tell you that these things are secretly comfortable. They're not. Talking to someone you're nervous around is inconvenient. Being away from your family is inconvenient. Learning something difficult is inconvenient. Being corrected is inconvenient. Starting over somewhere new is inconvenient. But that's the point. If everything in your life is designed around keeping you comfortable, there isn't much forcing you to stretch. You stay where you already know everything. You talk to the same people, you do the things you're already good at, you avoid situations where you might look inexperienced, and slowly your comfort zone gets smaller. This is why I really believe that sometimes you need to get out of your hometown. You need to see somewhere different. You need to experience a different environment. You need to meet people who don't know you. And sometimes you need to be far away from your parents. And I'm saying this with love because I know being away from your parents isn't always easy. When you're at home, there are so many things you don't even realize you're relying on. Someone knows where things are. Someone can help you when something goes wrong. Someone can answer your questions. Someone is familiar. And then suddenly you're somewhere else. You don't know the streets. You don't know the people. You don't know how everything works. And something as simple as figuring out where to go can become a whole situation. It's inconvenient. You might feel lonely. You might miss home. You might have to make decisions by yourself. But after a while, something starts changing. You realize, wait, I can actually handle this. And that realization is worth so much. Because there are things you can only learn when nobody is standing next to you and telling you what to do. And I think this is one reason people who have experienced different environments can sometimes stand out. Not because they're automatically better. Not because leaving home magically makes someone successful. But because they've had to adapt. They've had to figure things out. They've had to communicate with different kinds of people. They've had to deal with unfamiliar situations. And something unexpected happened, they're less likely to completely freeze. They've had practice. That's what life outside your comfort zone gives you. Practice. You don't need to travel across the world tomorrow. You don't need to make your life unnecessarily difficult. Just start putting yourself in situations where you're not completely comfortable. Go somewhere new, talk to someone new, try something you're not good at, handle something yourself, take responsibility for something. Let someone correct you. Do something before you feel completely ready, because that's how you slowly expand the number of things you can handle. But I want to make something very clear. I'm not saying that every uncomfortable situation is good for you. That's not what I'm talking about. If someone is disrespecting you, you don't need to stay there and say, "Thank you for helping me grow." No. If something is genuinely dangerous, leave. Protect yourself. Set boundaries. I'm talking about healthy inconvenience, the kind that comes from learning, the kind that comes from responsibility, the kind that comes from trying, the kind that makes you nervous because you've never done it before. That's the inconvenience I'm talking about. Because there's a huge difference between suffering for no reason and struggling because you're learning something valuable. And this is something I really want you to remember. Be prepared for inconvenience. Don't expect your life to always be smooth because it won't be. If you're going somewhere new, expect to feel lost sometimes. If you're moving away from home, expect to miss your family. If you're starting a new job, expect mistakes. If you're building something, expect people to criticize you. Prepare for it. Not because you should expect your life to be miserable, but because when you know inconvenience is coming, it doesn't shock you as much. You can say, okay, this is uncomfortable, but I knew it would be. And then you deal with it. That's such a different way of living. And honestly, sometimes I think we should feel privileged to experience certain inconveniences. Because think about it, if your teacher corrects you, you have an opportunity to improve. If you have to give a presentation, you have an opportunity to practice communication. If you can go somewhere new, you have an opportunity to experience a different world. If you can stay away from your home, you have an opportunity to become more independent. So sometimes, instead of saying, why is this happening to me? We can say, I'm lucky that I get to experience this. I'm lucky that I get to learn. I'm lucky that I get to try. I'm lucky that I get to go somewhere new. I'm lucky that I get to make mistakes. So the next time, if something feels inconvenient, pause before you run away from it. Ask yourself, is it actually bad for me or is it just uncomfortable? If it's something healthy, face it. If it's something that can teach you, learn from it. If it's something that can make you stronger, don't waste your energy fighting it. Go to the new place, talk to the person, listen to the correction, do the work, try the thing. Leave the familiar place when it's time. And when life gets inconvenient, remember, you were never promised that growth would be convenient. So be prepared, be willing. And maybe instead of complaining about every inconvenience, start thanking some of them. Because one day you might realize, it was inconvenient, but I'm so glad I went through it. And maybe that's the whole point. Nothing convenient will make you grow.
The only way to grow in this life is to be uncomfortable and put yourself in situations that scare you. You have to fall into the unknown to experience more in life. If you stay in your shell, and if you stay cooped up in your room or in your space of safety, that safety is just going to continue, and a year will go by, you're going to be in the same place. But if you step over that scary hill or jump over that lake, you're going to find yourself in new experiences. And if you fail, that only means you learn something, you grow from that, and now you won't go back in that same path. You have to take the windy road to get to where you want to go. Taking a leap and taking a jump is something that is so scary. This is also rare. Most people will not take that leap. You have to be in the percentage of people who are willing to grow if you want to be successful and you want to see your life expand to different horizons. And by the way, you can start this whenever. It is never ever too late to start. You can pick up tomorrow and decide that you want to take the step that you have not been doing because you're scared.
If this video made you see things differently, hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.